Cedar Hollow sat quietly on the outskirts of Boulder, Colorado, a picture-perfect suburb where doors were rarely locked, and neighbors smiled across freshly mowed lawns. It was the kind of place that made parents feel safe raising kids and young professionals eager to settle down. But on a brisk Monday morning in March, that illusion shattered. Lauren Meyers, a 29-year-old elementary school teacher, didn't show up for class. She had never missed a day without calling. Her co-workers tried reaching her, but calls went straight to voicemail. By afternoon, her sister drove to Lauren's small blue craftsman house on Maple Court. The lights were on. The TV hummed quietly. Her laptop sat open on the kitchen table beside a mug of coffee, long gone cold. Nothing looked out of place, except a window screen, neatly removed from the back of the house. To the police, it looked like nothing happened, but to her family, it looked like everything had. Detective Evan Ramirez was assigned the case within hours. The moment he entered the house, he noticed the tiny details others might have missed. A chair slightly out of line, a single earring under the couch, and faint mud tracks leading toward the backyard. It wasn't chaos. It was careful, calculated. The search for Lauren began that night, with volunteers walking the wooded trails and officers scanning the nearby roads. The next day, the story hit local news. "Beloved teacher missing from Cedar Hollow," the headlines read. Dozens of people showed up to help, hoping for a miracle. 2 days later, a park ranger discovered Lauren's silver Subaru Crosstrek abandoned near Gross Reservoir, 20 miles from town. The doors were locked. The keys were gone. On the steering wheel, what appeared to be a faint trace of blood. Her phone, wallet, and hiking boots were missing. The reservoir was deep, cold, and impossible to search fully. Whatever happened to Lauren, it didn't feel random anymore. Investigators combed through Lauren's social media and emails, but found little until they reached her laptop. Hidden in her browser history was an online hiking forum called Trail Talk. Under the username Mountain Muse, Lauren had been exchanging long messages with someone named North Peak 77. Their chats were personal, sharing favorite trails, playlists, and late-night conversations about loneliness and starting over. Detectives traced the username to Ryan Keller, a 33-year-old construction contractor living 4 miles from Lauren. Ryan was married with 2 kids and had no criminal record. When questioned, he claimed the relationship was just friendly online talk. But data from his phone told a different story. GPS records placed him near Gross Reservoir the same night Lauren disappeared. And in one deleted message he'd written, "Sometimes I wish we could just escape the world. Just you and me." Ramirez had seen hundreds of cases before, but something about that message chilled him. It sounded less like fantasy and more like intent. Detectives searched Ryan Keller's home under a warrant. In the garage, behind stacks of paint cans, they found a duffel bag containing climbing ropes, duct tape, a folding knife, and a red flannel shirt. The same shirt caught on a blurry surveillance camera near Cedar Hollow Road around 2:17 a.m. Ryan denied everything. He said he'd been home asleep beside his wife, but his car tires matched prints found near the reservoir. When confronted with GPS data, Ryan's story shifted. He said he'd gone out for a drive to clear his head. His wife later admitted they'd argued that night about another woman. Despite growing evidence, prosecutors couldn't move forward. There was still no body. Lauren's case stalled, and weeks turned into months. Her family continued to hold candlelight vigils, her students leaving flowers outside her classroom. Ramirez couldn't shake the feeling that she was still out there, somewhere close, buried beneath the quiet calm of Cedar Hollow's soil. On a warm June afternoon, a hiker wandering off-trail near Gross Reservoir noticed something strange. An area of freshly disturbed soil beneath a fallen pine. He called it in. The coroner confirmed the worst. The remains were Lauren's. Dental records matched instantly. She'd been struck in the head, likely by a blunt object. Under her fingernails, forensic technicians discovered traces of Ryan Keller's DNA. When the police arrived at Ryan's workplace to arrest him, he didn't run. He didn't even ask why. He simply whispered, "It wasn't supposed to happen like that." The arrest shook the entire community. News vans lined the street outside the Keller home. Neighbors watched silently as police led him away in handcuffs. Lauren's mother stood near the reservoir days later, clutching her daughter's favorite scarf. She loved these woods, she said through tears. She trusted people. That was her only mistake. The courtroom was packed when Ryan Keller took the stand. Prosecutors portrayed him as a manipulator, a man living two lives, the devoted husband and father versus the online predator who lured a woman to her death. They presented text messages, timestamps, and deleted photos from his phone. One Google search stood out. How deep to bury a body in cold soil? Ryan's defense argued the death was accidental, claiming Lauren fell during a late-night hike, and panic led him to hide the body. But the jury wasn't convinced. Between the DNA evidence, the digital trail, and the lies, the truth was undeniable. After 7 hours of deliberation, the verdict was read. Guilty of first-degree murder. Lauren's family wept as the judge sentenced Ryan Keller to life in prison without parole. As he was led away, Ryan showed no emotion, no regret, no remorse, only silence. The kind of silence that makes you wonder if the evil ever really leaves. Cedar Hollow would never be the same. Porch lights stayed on longer. Neighbors who once waved now avoided eye contact. Parents forbade their kids from hiking alone. The "Welcome to Cedar Hollow" sign was taken down after someone spray-painted "Murder Town" across it. Lauren's classroom remained untouched, her lesson plans still pinned to the corkboard, her handwriting frozen in time. Each year, on the anniversary of her disappearance, candles are lit outside her old house.